They called him Anders, but who was he, really? Not much is known as with the others. Still, in a way, he feels rather close, like the first present time member of this family. He was the one who he was the original Anders. The rest of us been named after, because we're Anderssons, sons of Anders. He was the first one, along with his wife, who moved to Kungsör, where I was born. He was the first one who survived into the 20th century, almost so that he would have met my grandfather, but no, he didn't. Taking things from the beginning, he was born in Munktorp, the third child of Johanna Ersdotter and Per Jansson. Johanna Ersdotter, named after father or stepfather Erik Arvidsson, and Per Jansson's father his name was Johan. Jan is a short form for Johan, John. And they married in 1939, and then their first daughter was well on her way. She didn't live long after birth, some half a year, I think. And then there came a son who got the name Johan Erik, Johan after Per's father, and Erik after Johanna's father. He did have some kind of handicap, not specified. And then a few years after that came Anders, 1842. He was followed by another brother, Carl Fredrik, born in, might have been 1845. I haven't really encountered any information about this handicapped brother. And then Anders and this younger brother, Carl Fredrik, and it seems as if he didn't really live along with the rest of the family, because at a rather early age, 13 or maybe even younger, he moved around some to Skinnskatteberg naturally, and other parishes in the neighborhood like Kolbäck and such. In 1864, Per Jansson died, from malaria, leaving Johanna a widow. As if Anders would care about this, he got himself drafted and moved to Kungsör. In Kungsör, he met what should actually be an old acquaintance from the same neighborhood in Munktorp, Köping. Young maid, 1 year older than Anders, named Carolina Grönlund, who already served at this farm when Anders arrived, and they got married in a hurry. They got married in a fever, and Johanna, back in Munktorp, she came to some primitive institution for poor people who couldn't take care of themselves. After some half a year or even less, she remarried a farm worker called Gustav Larsson. Anders and Carolina, they had first 3 daughters, and then son, my great-grandfather, Carl Gustav, and I believe actually 1 more daughter. I think there were 4 of them, and Carl Gustav, born in 1874, there may have been in between him and the next unfortunate one, stillborn man 6, July 1876, I think. 1 year after that, Carolina died from something related to this pregnancy and stillbirth. Anders kept doing his service for another 13 years. Then he served his 25 and was retired. And then, as a retired soldier, he got this little Thorpe cabin some miles westward. And then he remarried then in 1889 when moving along with his children. And they lived there until the turn of the century. In 1899, old mother Johanna, back in Munktorp, died. Only 1 week after Gustav Larsson, her new husband. And yeah, they were born the same year and died with only 1 week between them. I have no idea if Anders ever was informed about this. In 1902, there was this big scandal. My great-grandfather, Carl Gustav, had this out-of-marriage relation, and this unfortunate woman actually gave birth to a daughter. And she was, yeah, more or less upper class. And she was placed as some cousin, I think, made her pregnant once again. And she served as some kind of maid at his place. But these two daughters, anyway, they grew up and lived more or less normal lives, as far as I know. But they had no contact whatsoever with their half, or the first one had these half brothers, my grandfather and his brothers. No contact for their lives. This was in 1902, and in 1903, the 30th of June, Anders hanged himself by the neck in his thorp. Not sure why. Yeah, things ain't gonna get any better, right? So, time to retire. Definitely. Yeah. Strange story, and very little is known. His wife, Sofia Moberg, lived for another few years. And she moved close to Eskilstuna, small town, big small town in Sweden. Yeah, can you imagine Sweden? There is a weird coincidence, because when she died, she worked on some farm, and working on the same farm was my paternal grandmother's family before she was born. They had their first child who died only a few months old, in the same place as this great-great-grandfather's wife. Them having no knowledge of each other, as far as I know. But they're, yeah, I can't bother myself sorting things out, but Carl Gustav, being related to Sofia, had a son who would marry the daughter of this Eriksson family. Just a coincidence. Yeah, and the son of Anders, Carl Gustav, he married a religious farmer's daughter, and took a step upwards in the social hierarchy, and worked on the railroad, saved all this money. He became religious too, stopped drinking and such, card playing and other mean stuff, saved all this money to buy his own place, and he managed to save 9,000 crowns and bought this little place, shack, I believe, because none of his sons would have it when they grew up. They never met Anders. He died in 1903, and Carl Gustav's first son was born in 1906. Carl Gustav and Arvida. Yeah, that would be more or less the story of a man named Anders.